effectiveness of oral communication. The first point is it saves time. In number of cases where action is required to be taken immediately, it is best to be transmitted a message orally. When the workload builds up, the harassed executives stops writing, reach for the telephone, or swap a snap conference, or just walk down the corridor and give a oral instruction to somebody. Also, when split second resolution have to be made in the workplace, authorities may just resort to oral communication. This has to be obeyed by the subordinates who is carrying out the activity. There may be no time for written orders to be signed and passed on to person during the job. Next point is saves money. Money for writing and postage expenses can be saved. For communication within the organization, oral communication saves expenses on circulars, memos, and notices. Like all sort of stationery items are an expenditure when it is a written communication. So in an oral communication, these stationaries are not at all required. So when it is a very big organization and you try to do an oral communication, it saves a lot of stationery requirements expenses. So this is how the money for an organization is being saved. Speech is a powerful means of persuasion and control. Since speech is more powerful mean of persuasion and control, most of the executives prefer to transmit messages orally. Like in a written communication, there is no emotions, or there is the power of the writer is not being shown in a written message, but an executive shows his authority to power while he is trying to deliver a message, or he can motivate a person through the speech but not through a written document. The speaker can convey shades of meaning by variation in the tone, pitch, and loudness of voice. The speaker can convey shades of meaning which he would not be able to do it through a written communication. The speaker can get immediate feedback. The speaker can get immediate feedback on whether he is creating a favorable impression on the receiver or antagonizing him, whether the receiver will protest, or whether the receiver has clearly understood his meaning, or is feeling perplexed or baffled, and he can mold and adjust his messages accordingly. So the speakers always get the immediate feedback while he is having a oral conversation. When he does an oral communication, the feedback is very instant. So he will be understanding whether the receiver has received the message properly, or he is against the message which has been told, or whether he is happy with the message he has received. So these things can be understood by the instant feedback by the receiver. More reliable opportunity for employees to get immediate feedback and clarification. Although the employees feel more secure when in the possession of written message, they find oral message more reliable, for they get opportunity for feedback and clarifications. Helps promote friendly relationship. The informal plan on which oral communication is mostly carried out helps to promote friendly relationship between the parties communicating with each other. So it is conducive to develop of interpersonal relationship. Useful while communicating with groups. Oral communication is extremely useful while communicating with the group in assemblies and seminars. I mean, like instead of giving a pamphlets or notices or circulars to a large sum of audience or the employees, you can just call the employees to an hall or an auditorium and communicate at one shot by doing oral communication. I mean, like they can give a speech so that the message is passed on instantly to all the employees. Useful face to face. When two people communicate in an office face to face, oral communication will be a lot more personal in nature. Oral communication for the transmission of oral messages helps to remove difficulties when superiors have to explain serious matters to subordinates, such as being laid off from the work. If the same person was given a written communication, it may be more difficult for the person to digest the loss of job. Pitch of voice, facial expression, and gesture may also play a vital role in transmitting an oral message effectively. Oral communication can be recorded. Due to various advantages in the electronic and communication devices, an oral communication can be recorded either as voice message or even a video recording. This can be used from time to time at various places. Oral communication does not need writing skills. Written skills needs the person, written communication needs the person who is communicating to have a language skills and also writing skills, as it will be a record of communication. In oral communication, formal writing and language skills similar to written communications are not at all needed, as message gets to people easily. Oral communication can be on the spot. Written communication has disadvantages in the fact that there should be at least a paper and pen for written communication. No special devices such as paper, pen, documents are needed for most of the time in an oral communication. It can be conveyed at the time and any place. Oral communication can be spontaneous, unlike written communication. Expectations of views immediately. People accept views immediately because they get convinced easily through oral communication. It is also an effective mode of communication for motivating subordinates. So oral communication always acts as a motivator to the subordinates compared to the written communication. Next one is listening. Listening is a process of receiving, interpreting, and reacting to the message received from the communicator, that is, sender. It is an art of communication which is often taken for granted, like any other art. Listening requires to be cultivated consciously, carefully, and systematically. It requires conscious effort of interpreting sounds, grasping the meaning of words, and reacting to the message. Interpreting the sound's signal is a cognitive act which depends on the listener's knowledge of the code and signals, and on his attitude towards the communication sender. There are two types of listening: active and passive listening. Active listening is when the listener is fully engaged and reacts to the ideas presented by the speaker. An active listener is a good listener who listens to each and every word of the speaker. He actively or pays attention to what the speaker says to each and every word. This is usually through non-verbal cues such as nodding, smiling, facial expression, in response to the ideas of speaker, making eye contact, etc. The listener can also ask questions, clarify ideas, and even comment on certain points that have been presented. In active listening, the listener engages in analytical listening and also deep listening. The listener does not merely listens but also analyzes the idea, evaluate and access them while listening. So an active listener not just listens to the message, but he analyzes what is being told, evaluates whether it is right or wrong, and access them while listening. In day-to-day life, we become active listener. For example, when listening to a friend, we not only listen but also react according to the situation. In counseling, active listening is considered as one of the core skills that the counselor must develop. So, if you are in counseling, the counselor has to have the active listening skills as core. Passive listening. In passive listening, the listener does not react to the ideas of the speaker but merely listens. He doesn't totally ignores the speaker, but he listens, but not completely. Each and every sentences or words he might not listen, but he tries to pay attention. In this case, the listener makes no attempt to interrupt the speaker by asking questions and commenting on the ideas that they have been presented. This, however, does not mean that the listener is not paying much attention to the speaker. On the contrary, even though he is listening, he makes no attempt to react. For example, imagine you are in a seminar with hundreds of people. You are engaged in passive listening because there is less opportunity to form a two-way communication. The listener does not make any eye contact and has a less room for asking questions and clarification. However, passive listening can also be helpful. Thank you.